This is how the Hot Boys transition from hustlers that you don't want to mess with to cold gangsters who will rob you, cross you, or eliminate you just because they want to be bad. And with this mentality, they were bound to make everyone in New Orleans their enemy. Nobody likes a thief, and definitely not a thief who will cross their own allies. To this point, thankfully, the whole 3rd Ward was unified as the Magnolia, MELPH, and Calliope could hang out in each other's projects. It was always the 3rd Ward versus everyone, but then the Hot Boys would somehow ruin everything. So here is the crazy story of how it all starts. In 1994, the biggest kingpin in the MELPH had a baby mother who lived in the Magnolia. And because of the Magnolia and MELPH's close relationship, he felt safe using his baby mom's apartment as a stash house. These guys are my allies, so I never have to worry about them robbing me, right? Well, this guy was only familiar with the old Magnolia. He didn't know how the new Hot Boys were operating.
One of these big dogs out their project had a baby mother living in our project. He had like 5 kilos hid in her house. He was in college. One of the females out the Magnolia was hanging with her, cool with her, went back and told one of the guys in the know, like, you know, boy, the MELPH got there in such and such house. What? They go in there steal a.
GANGSTA admittedly had nothing to do with this, but his friend's actions had serious consequences. When the man finds out, he's absolutely pissed, and he wants to know whether his baby mother set him up or if the Magnolia boys did him cold. So the man starts asking around who did it, just to find out that the Hot Boys are bragging about the incident. The man cannot believe it. He tells everyone in the MELPH what happened, and they collectively decide that all relations are done with the Magnolia projects. They officially declare a beef with the Magnolia, but more specifically with the Hot Boys.
Now the guys at the MELPH, they not soft. They going too, so a war broke out. We were like this. If it's beef, whenever we see you, we're gonna fight. We're gonna make it known we beefing. It wasn't no one-on-ones where we're gonna shoot when we see each other. We did mean mugging and keep going until we get our gun. No, when we see each other, we gonna work.
So now the beef is on. 2 major heavyweights at odds. The MELPH versus the Magnolia. Nobody expected this to ever happen. So here's how it initially turns out. From June to November of 1994, the MELPHamine project lost 11 people, and according to the paperwork, Mosquito and GANGSTA were responsible for 9 of these. For one project to lose 11 people in under a year is pretty much unheard of. But in a city like New Orleans, this is how serious the beefs can get, especially in 1994. In fact, in 1994, the city of New Orleans saw 424 homicides. This is the 2nd deadliest year ever recorded in American history, just behind East Palo Alto in 1992. This was a time where truly every single day in New Orleans could be your last. Bodies were dropping left and right in the city of New Orleans, and the craziest part is that none of these included a hot boy.
What the hell?
Well, according to GANGSTA, there really wasn't a reason for this. They were just getting lucky, I guess. But as you know, in the street life, what goes around also comes around eventually. Unless you move to another city and stay there forever, or you just hide in the house, you will get touched. However, for GANGSTA, he would be arrested in early 1995, which may have actually saved his life. He was initially charged with attempted murder, but pled down to assault and was given 1 year in prison. So from April of 1995 to May of 1996, GANGSTA was located in WCI prison. The judge decided to sentence him lightly with the hopes that he would change his life around once he got out. But come on, guys. But to his credit and in his defense, when he got out, all he wanted to do was have some fun. And that takes us to June 1st, 1996. It's a huge day in New Orleans as the annual Super Fair takes place in the Superdome. Here, everyone can enjoy fun activities, dress up in fresh gear, and holler at new girls. Typically, large gatherings in New Orleans do not end well, but thankfully this venue has heavy security and metal detectors, so everyone can leave the beef at home. So on this day, Mosquito, GANGSTA, and the rest of the Hot Boys roll into the fair with no beef on their minds. However, the beef with the MELPH is still strong, but who's going to initiate a beef in this kind of setting? Well, at least that's what the Hot Boys are thinking.
OG Booby Black and myself, we was in the fair. Back then, in the Dome, Coca-Cola had a fair in the Dome. The Superdome.
As the Hot Boys are mobbing through the fair, they notice a crew of guys from the MELPH. The MELPH approach them quickly and seemingly want to fight, so the two sides clash in the middle of the fair and they start throwing hands. Little do the Hot Boys know, the MELPH were able to grab knives off of a booth at the fair, so while they're trying to throw hands, the MELPH start poking them up. First, Mosquito gets hit in the shoulder and instantly runs away to safety.
Now me and Lil Cornell fighting at the MELPH. He got his head down, so I don't know, he got a little steak knife in the fair. He hits me in my chest, right up under here. I said, oh, he got a knife. Now his feet don't feel me. Now I got to go. Now I got to bail up out of here. He boy got a weapon.
So GANGSTA runs for his life and is able to reunite with his friends, and that's when he notices something crucial.
It was a red stain on my yellow shirt, so I raised my shirt up and it's making noise, doing like that. So I'm like, oh. So the girl's like, ah. So I fell down because I want the attention, right? They called the ambulance. I should have never did that because they charged me for getting an ambulance just to go right up the block to Charity Hospital.
GANGSTA is able to make it to the hospital in time, where the doctors are able to stop his wound and stitch up his lungs.
But my lungs had collapsed, so they gave me like 30-something staples down my stomach.
He thankfully survived this scary incident, but this right here was what brought him right back into stepping after his prison sentence. He now knew that the MELPH were determined to get him gone, so he needed to move accordingly.